Laura, how does it feel being in Fayetteville? Obviously, a great place to be for week 1 of the season. I mean, what does it feel like being back?
It's so great to be here. And, truly, anytime we come here, the hospitality is incredible. Arkansas fans are so passionate, as they should be. And I just really enjoy interacting with the fans. So to start out somewhere where we know we're going to get a great turnout for SEC Nation, we can approach it knowing that we're going to bring a great show and it's going to be very fan involved. We've got a lot of really fun things planned for Saturday morning. So I love being here. And it is truly one of my favorite stops along our tour of all the different SEC schools.
What's it like this time last year when you guys were here? They were kind of an up and coming. We weren't sure how they were going to be, and now people are picking them to finish second in the SEC West. Just what's it been like seeing that transition from last year to this year?
Yeah, what an incredible job by Sam Pittman and his staff, and then by the players buying in and doing what they've done. And, we were optimistic about Arkansas at that point. If you remember back to that game, a lot of us picked Arkansas to beat Texas ahead of the game, including my daughter Reese, who was right at age almost 2 at that point. But, when you think about what they've done beyond that, so it wasn't just winning that game and shocking some people, right? It was, no, we're going to go on to continue to have big wins, beating Texas A&M, some moments that you look back and say, those are the ways that you can kind of judge progress. It's sometimes we say, well, they got close and so they're playing games in the way that you want to see them where they look competitive, but they didn't actually get the win. Well, last year we started to see the transition of where Arkansas starts winning those games. And I think now, despite the incredibly difficult schedule, they've never shied away from that type of competition and from knowing they're going to be challenged. So I'm excited, once again, very optimistic about what they've done, believe in Sam Pittman wholeheartedly, and it's going to be really fun to see what KJ Jefferson does now with another year in the system, just another year of being familiar with everything, and I think they could continue to surprise some people.
Is there you just mentioned KJ Jefferson, is there a player or a position group that you're excited to see that you kind of want to see a little bit more here in week 1?
Yeah, I think it is KJ Jefferson. I mean, when you look across the league, it's such a year of quarterbacks in so many ways, and big names people keep throwing out there, and people are throwing KJ's name in the mix, but I feel like we should be talking about him a little bit more, especially considering the numbers he put up last year and his abilities as a dual threat quarterback, which is so dangerous in general. But the things that they can do offensively, I think we'll see a lot from. And listen, I mean, you lose some players, like Traylon Burks, a great player and all that, but they did well at times last year, even when he wasn't performing, to the level that was expected at all times because of injuries and all that. So to me, I think KJ's got a little chip on his shoulder, which is very scary for anyone who's going to go up against him. And then, the other thing I would add is just some of the veteran leadership still on the defensive side of the ball. Bumper Poole being back and knowing what he brings just as a presence, as a force to be reckoned with on the field, but also as a leader. I think seeing them out there is going to be a whole lot of fun, and against a team that they're going to be very motivated against in Cincinnati. It's an opportunity to make a big statement. I think they're ready for it.
Yeah, just going off that, what should we think of this Cincinnati team? I don't know if anyone really knows what to expect from them tomorrow.
Yeah, it was funny. So I recently was doing some Monday Night Football preseason games, and in one of the joint practices with the Falcons and the Jets, I see both Desmond Ridder and Sauce Gardner, and I'm like, yeah, that's because they're no longer on Cincinnati. So you think about all the departures to the NFL and how different this Cincinnati team's going to look from what they were like in the college football playoff last year, and covered them extensively at that time. Great team, deserving of the opportunity, deserving to make the history that they made, but yet this is a totally different world, and I think we'll see a team that's still well coached and disciplined, because Luke Fickell is a star in the coaching game and brings a lot to the table from that standpoint. But this is going to be a really loud environment that's going to be difficult to play in, and that's a really tough test for a team right off the bat like that. So I actually expect it to be close into the third quarter, just because it's the first game, and sometimes on both sides there's some jitters and whatever, working some kinks out. But I think ultimately Arkansas is the better team and the stronger team in this one.
What kind of ring does the name Cincinnati have to it now that maybe it didn't have in the past? I'm here from Cincinnati.
Yeah.
And so hearing people's opinions about that program from the outside looking in is an interesting thought. What kind of ring does that have to it now?
There's a ton of cachet to Cincinnati now, and I think in the past, it's a program that people have thought of, hey, maybe they're not up to the level of some of these Power 5 schools and things like that. Now they are, and they're going to be consistently there. You know, certainly this year they've got a lot to prove because of all the departures that we talked about, but just to be as well coached as they are, to have the commitment from Coach Fickell and what he's done to build that program, it was really interesting spending a lot of time with them during the college football playoff last year and seeing the foundation that's been laid. I think that's going to extend the cachet, extend their name as a huge brand name in college football going forward. They're going to be a competitive team year in and year out.
Score prediction, come on, you gotta give us, something.
Goodness.
Hey,
All right,
come
let
on,
me think
you
about
gotta give
that.
something.
So I'm going to say, I think Arkansas wins by a touchdown. I'm going to say 28-21 Arkansas.
Right.
And like I said, I think it's very competitive into the third quarter. I think Cincinnati's well prepared. They're going to, bring it. But Arkansas is just that much better, and maybe we see a late touchdown that sort of like puts them over the edge.
Just how exciting is it to have these out-of-conference games week one on campus? You know, you have Oregon, Georgia playing in Atlanta, LSU playing in New Orleans, but you get this game on campus at a rowdy stadium. Just how exciting is that for you guys to come to?
It's huge. It's like the passion of college football. We sort of get hit over the head with it week one, which is awesome. That's what everybody wants. And, when these schedules are made, you can never predict just how these teams are going to be and how competitive they're going to be. And so you sort of look at this one and say, wow, I mean, what an incredible gift that we got this week one to start the season off. And in the college football playoff era, it's all about making statements every single time you get to make one, right? So even though the committee isn't looking at things as a snapshot, they're looking at the holistic product. It is a chance for both of these teams to say, we're putting our name on the map in a big way. I mean, if Cincinnati comes in here and wins this game, people are on notice, right? If Arkansas has a nice win over Cincinnati, a team that was in the college football playoff last year and is well respected across the board, that's a great statement to make. So I love it. The fact that we get, almost feels like real college football, not just like the lead up to what the actual season's going to be like right here week one in a place that's going to be so bought in. Just absolutely cannot wait.